2025 is going to be remembered as the year of horror films with movies like Sinners, Weapons, and now Good Boy. I mean, these movies are so good. I'm talking with director, co-writer, and producer Ben Leonberg, Kari Fisher. So, Ben, I mean, how did this idea come about?
Yeah, I mean, I think that every person who's had a dog has wondered or maybe worried why their dog is barking in the middle of the night or staring into a empty corner for seemingly no reason. And we kind of play with that trope that exists in a lot of horror movies and turned it into a full feature film.
I mean, Kari, explain what this premise is for people who aren't aware yet, because they will just love what this is about.
Yeah, no. So it's a guy who has his beloved dog and moves to a long-standing family house in the woods. Very familiar premise, I think, for most horror movies. And then you kind of follow those twists and turns of what they experience in the house together.
And the film is told entirely from Indy's perspective. We rarely see the people. So as soon as we get to the house, I think the audience and clearly Indy are suspicious that there's something wrong, there's a haunting, a curse, whatever it might be. And it's kind of a mystery that unfolds entirely through his point of view. Keeping in mind, he's a dog. He can't read the books or, do any research. He only has his senses to guide him.
Such a unique premise that I was so intrigued from the beginning when I first heard about this movie. And you would think it would be a nationwide casting search for this dog. Who's going to play this? But no, it is your guys' dog. Tell us about how you knew Indy was the perfect dog for this.
So it wasn't a decision that we arrived at, quickly. As I was writing the film, which took a while to really figure out how do you tell a story just with point of view, perspective, and simple blocking, I started making tests with my own dog, Indy, because he was there. One of the first ones is I recreated a scene from The Shining where instead of the little boy, it's Indy, finding a mysteriously open door. And then we kind of grew from there. We started making tests based on original scenes from the film. One of those was received really well. Indy was nominated for an acting award. And by that time, I feel like it kind of forced our hand. People were responding to him so strongly, and we had found this unique and novel way to elicit a performance from him. Yeah, we decided to go for it.
And then, I mean, Indy is obviously very attached to both of you, but you're behind the camera, not acting alongside Indy. How do you make sure
Well,
that, well, yeah, tell us about that. How do you make sure Indy is fully in acting mode?
so it's funny you say. So we are not actors. There are the performances the humans give are put into the scene the same way James Earl Jones voices Darth Vader. It's our bodies that are in the movie. So I'm both the cinematographer, the director, and I'm also the stand-in. So when Indy walks into the house with Todd, I'm playing Todd. And Shane Jensen, who really plays Todd, I should say I'm standing in as Todd. Shane is then adding the performance on top of that, which is a really hard job because he has to, give a good performance. That's table stakes, but he has to make it sound like it's coming out of my body when in reality, I'm not saying those lines. I'm talking to Indy and coaching him to give his performance. So I mainly stood in as Todd and then the supernatural force. You also sometimes played Todd.
Sometimes I'm Todd, I'm the sister, I'm other characters. Yeah.
You play the elderly neighbor,
Yep.
which was it's strange to hear that voice come out of your body for me personally, but there it goes.
So much sense now because I'm thinking Indy would be so drawn to both of you from behind the camera, but here he is. And I read something about as soon as the camera is on or sees a camera, Indy goes into acting mode. How did you train him to be like that?
It's funny, he doesn't know that the camera means it's time to act. I can't say enough. He does not know he was in a movie. It's just that he knows the camera means he's supposed to do something. He's really smart. Almost too smart for his own good. The same way that some dogs will see a leash and understand it's time to go for a walk. If we got the camera out, he thought, I'm supposed to do something, and would kind of, just be there. Almost to the point that if we were getting a shot without him, we would have to close the door so he wouldn't come stand in front of the camera. So, I mean, he kind of picked up on it himself.
And like I mentioned before, I mean, Sinners, Weapons, and Good Boy. I mean, these movies have been such critically received, so critically acclaimed. Audiences are loving them as well. What is it like to be part of this great year of horror films?
I mean, it's awesome. It's a great year in general for I think movies and horror. I mean, I think horror is always an exciting genre. There's always something new and exciting. And this year especially, it seems like there's a lot of exciting new ways people are looking to subvert old tropes, turn them into something new, and to be a part of that is like it's honestly a huge thrill.
Really is. And this movie premiered in March at South by Southwest. Obviously, rave reviews there. Indy was just recognized incredibly for his performance. What was that like to kind of set the tone, get the people talking, and now coming out here in October, obviously Halloween time?
Oh my gosh, it was such a blast and so rewarding for us and for our whole team, which is a small but mighty team. And then on top of that, it's funny and we're already obsessed with our dog, but it's pretty fun to see that everyone else is also obsessed with our dog. So it's incredibly validating and maybe a little bit enabling, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, when we were at Austin, it got to the point because South by really showed Indy a lot. They really helped promote him.
They were amazing.
They were amazing, but it got to the point that we were walking around Austin and people would like roll down their windows of their cars and say like, "Is that the good boy?" So he's been recognized on the street a few times.
Of course he has. I mean, he just literally just looks like a good boy. That has to be where the title came from. Are there like future movies Indy could be starring in? What's in the works, obviously, after this critically acclaimed movie?
It's tricky. I think the reason his performance is so unique and stands out is because we made the movie in a really unique way, which is to say, a few hours a day for 400 days over 3 years. That's not the way most films are made. So it might be hard to have him lead another movie just like this. I'm certainly excited about, more animal storytelling, probably even with dogs, whether it's with Indy or another dog. There's more I want to say with horror movies and haunted house films and how dogs fit into all of that. So I think we'll see.
And Indy will probably be doing more of what you see behind us, which is
Taking a nap.
napping.
Yes, yeah.
I
Yeah. So,
can't blame him. He put in the hard work. I mean, all those hours of filming and being the star of the screen. But what's next for both of you? Obviously, we've talked about Indy, but what's next for both of you? Obviously, this is your directorial debut, but there is so much more to come.
yeah, for sure. I'll be making more films, and I'm very excited to make the next one with human actors who agree that they are indeed in a movie. And it's not going to be from a dog's point of view, but point of view is going to, I think, be a big part of certainly my interest in the projects I'm choosing. The next film uses that literally, not again from a dog's perspective, but using unique perspectives to tell a story. I think is something I'm going to keep thinking about and finding ways to put into my films.
Yeah, and I'm going to continue with my day job. So I'm not a producer by training. I'm a scientist. I work for an organization called the Lupus Research Alliance, and while we were filming, I would be working during the day, and then you hit the end of the day, and I would transition into producer mode. So I'll be very happy to go back to just having my main role. But this was certainly a blast and a fun family project.
Yeah, it's handy to be married to a scientist when you need help producing a movie because it's a lot easier to teach a scientist how to make movies than the other way around. So
I can
lucked
certainly
out.
imagine that. That is so much fun. Good Boy is now in theaters. See it on the big screen with a room full of audience. It is such the perfect movie for this time. Thank you both so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you. This was really
David.
fun chatting.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.